This is the CHRILLCAST, and I'm Chris.
And I'm Will, and today is Wildcard Wednesday.
And I'm TallestThomas.
TallestThomas? What do you do?
I am a Breath of the Wild speedrunner.
Nice. Well, what got you into speedrunning, and what was your first experience with that?
So I guess speedrunning video games probably started all the way back during like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 PlayStation 1 era, where my friends and I would like try to complete levels as quickly as we could. I always kind of just like beating video games fast, even though I never actually kind of strategized it. Mm-hmm. And then kind of later in life, I got into speed solving Rubik's Cubes, like heavily speed solving Rubik's Cubes. And that kind of just progressed to, I was watching Games Done Quick on Twitch, and I watched my now friend Will Hike Song complete Breath of the Wild in like 33 minutes or something. And I was like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm learning how to do this. And I've kind of just been like obsessed with that for the past just over a year and a half now.
That's cool. So what is it about speedrunning that you like enjoy the most? Is it like the process? Is it like the learning curve, or like what is it about speedrunning that really gets to you?
I think it's like a combination of things. It's definitely the self-improvement. So you're not competing against other people. I don't like really competing with other people too much. If I'm my own competition, I'm more like motivated to improve. So there's that aspect. Some of the research and tricks that go into speedrunning. I mean, I've helped spend weeks on improving a run by a second if I can.
Yeah.
And then like obviously just breaking video games is super fun.
Yeah.
That's why I love watching Zelda games, because they are all extremely broken at this point.
Yeah.
So you said you saw the 30-minute run, and that kind of sold you on Breath of the Wild. Is it because of the duration? Do you think if like there wasn't a 30-minute Breath of the Wild run, you would still want to run it? Because I know recently you started getting into the All Shrines Master Sword. Sorry, not All Shrines, the Master Sword runs, and that's significantly longer. So
yeah.
Do you think that's what helped motivate you, is the shorter duration, or is this something else?
Yeah, I definitely think the shorter duration helped me get my foot in the door with it. I mean, it took me probably close to 3 months to actually learn the any percent route, because that's the main category I play is any percent, which is just completing the game as fast as you can. Doesn't matter how much you get done, just finish it. So, yeah. So getting into that like 30-minute, like I think before I got really involved with the new category, Master Sword Restricted, I got my time down to about 30 minutes. So getting that in, being able to do a couple runs a night, especially, working full time and all that, it definitely helped me get in the door. But now that I've kind of grown a little bit and I have a small community on Twitch and other people that just want to hang out, it's actually easier for me to do these longer runs now, just because people just like hanging out. So
that is cool. And I was wondering, because I saw that you had really gotten into Breath of the Wild, and I was wondering why you would choose Breath of the Wild, which is an open world. Like there seems to be random events that occur that wouldn't occur every time you do a playthrough. Why would you choose to do something that would change constantly, as opposed to doing like Ocarina of Time, where everything's always in the exact same spot?
So I kind of just fell in love with Breath of the Wild. I've played every Zelda game. I haven't beaten all of them, but I have played every single Zelda game out there, except for like the really weird, obscure, bad ones. But I've played every single one, and my original top 3 was Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and Link's Awakening. But once I found Breath of the Wild and I started playing it, and I just fell in love with the game so quick. So seeing the speedrun of a game that I already love makes it so it's not like a job running it, because I know there are speedrunners out there who like they play a game because it looks cool and because it's fast. It's not because they have a connection with that game.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, I can go and I can spend 2 hours not fighting a thing and just riding around on a horse or a bear or whatever I can find, and be totally content with that. So thankfully, in the 90% run, there is a good amount that we can actually control. Not to the extent of Ocarina of Time or anything like that, but like bokoblins and enemies, we can manipulate their behavior in a way where it's really not too random. There's not too much randomness inside of that run, so it's not that bad actually.
But yeah, it stops it from being so monotonous. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I was playing like Ocarina of Time, which has like Ocarina of Time, I have a couple friends that run it, and it blows my mind every time. Especially, I mean, now Ocarina of Time is like completely broken. The actual any percent is down to just over 7 minutes and 45 seconds.
It's absurd.
Because they've found a way to actually manipulate in-game memory. It's not very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that will get branched off into its own category and removed from any percent?
So they actually did branch the leaderboards. So there is now any percent, and there's any percent kill Ganon.
Okay.
So any percent kill Ganon is the old route where you actually have to go through Ganon's tower and deliver a final blow on that. The any percent is actually the true definition of any percent, which is get to the end credits as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially what happens is you get the game, you open up a memory slot, you rewrite what's supposed to be in there, and then after doing a certain amount of arbitrary code execution, doing movements and picking up items and rolling around, you actually just overflow the pointers inside of the memory, and it just puts you at a credits warp. So you instantly go to the credits. You don't even leave... I don't think you actually even leave Korok Forest.
It's amazing.
Wow. That's so boring to watch.
Is that like a party trick? You're like, hey guys, come on over to my house.
I mean,
check this shit out, and you just stomp on Ocarina
give
of
me
Time.
7 minutes.
Yeah, give me 7 minutes. I don't know if I would consider that a party trick, because you need a Japanese version. I think like a 1.0 Japanese version of Ocarina of Time, if I'm not mistaken, for GameCube with the Master Quest. So it's kind of hard to find.
So
if you just happen to have that, like, go for it.
Not only would you have to bring your own copy of the Zelda game to the party, but also probably your own GameCube. Mm-hmm. You're like, guys, check this trick out real quick. Oh, let me go to my car.
I just so happen to have my GameCube on, man.
You don't carry your cube on?
Come prepared,
on,
dude. Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the greatest strengths of the speedrunning community is the fact that they're so open and willing to accept new routes and kind of collaborate on just everything and anything to make it an enjoyable experience for everybody.
I think that's something that speedrunning definitely has, is the fact that like if a new glitch is found, we all jump on it.
Yeah.
So recently a new trick was discovered in Breath of the Wild called Stasis Bounce, which there's another trick called Bullet Time Bounces, which is we thought was the fastest way to move across the map. But we found another trick called Stasis Bounce, which is really difficult to pull off, but it gives actually the same amount of speed and or it has a less requirements. For bullet time bounces, you need a enemy that can ragdoll, and you have to be able to hit them in a certain way. For stasis bounces, you literally just need a metal crate, and that's it. And then you can pretty much do whatever you want. So, but it is a frame perfect timing. But like once that was discovered, I'm pretty sure like anybody that's been involved in the community while was like, all right, cool, we're going to mess with this for like a week or two straight and see what we can figure out.
That's awesome.
Keep practicing. So with your experience with the speedrunning community, I've never actually been into speedrunning but I'd assume that the community would be very competitive and like unwilling to take in new people. Like, is it hard to grow in the community? Because I feel like they'd be really toxic or you find it to be the opposite.
It's actually the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I think speedrunning is probably actually one of the best and least toxic communities to be in. And that's just not just Breath of the Wild, that is speedrunning as a whole. Like the entire community is nothing short of amazing.
That's crazy.
You know, when I first started speedrunning Breath of the Wild, I had some of the world record holders, some of the top runners were just coming in my stream and be like, hey, like if you have questions, just let us know. We'll try and answer you in chat and we'll help you out. And like,
that's awesome.
You know, everybody's just super nice. I try to be just as welcoming. So like when you come into it, you try to pay it forward. So like I am super welcoming. I'm always popping into new runners streams, trying to help them out as much as I can. But yeah, just overall as a speedrunning community, like the entire thing is incredibly welcoming. And incredibly selfless too. A lot of our like, I guess, community pillars, like the two biggest things in speedrunning is AGDQ and SGDQ. Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick. They're run by the same people. They're both marathons. They are a week long, 24 hours a day of speedruns. That's it. And they are some of the biggest fundraisers that are out there. This past SGDQ, which is actually held online due to the pandemic, raised $2.1 million in a week.
Wow, that's awesome.
And that is not the first time that's happened. In AGDQ, we did the same thing. And SGDQ before that, we did like 1.8 million or something. So we're all about putting money towards charity. I mean, just recently, I ran any percent Breath of the Wild in a small charity for Midwest for a charity called Able Gamers, which they make controllers for people with handicaps so they can play games. It just makes video games more accessible to people that usually wouldn't be able to play them. And we raised $10,000 in like 3 or 4 days.
That's awesome, dude.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So now that you do Twitch and YouTube, is that correct? Do you have any other outlets, or is that your main focus right now?
Yeah, main focus is Twitch. I stream on Twitch like usually twice a week, sometimes 3. And then I've been trying to put out YouTube videos. So those are my 2 main focuses right now. I do post a lot on Twitter. Twitter is a great way to get a hold of me if you have questions or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm usually on there.
All right, cool. Do you find that your YouTube edited videos are more fun to do, or do you have more fun with Twitch, or is it just a different media with the same output, or what's your comparison between YouTube and Twitch in your eye?
So I like Twitch because I have a really close-knit community. I don't have a very big community, but I have a very close-knit community. So we're all a bunch of really good friends. So I love just going into stream. Like if I have a bad day at work or something and I hop on stream and all my friends are there, they usually wind up putting me in a better mood, and it's great. YouTube has been interesting. I just started doing it not too long ago, and it's bringing me back to my high school days, because when I was in high school, I was actually a film student.
Oh yeah.
So, working with cameras again, working with editing and all that. I mean, the tools are much better now because high school was, 13 years ago for me. It's a lot different now, but it's kind of therapeutic. I love it. I love editing. I love, working and making sure sound's great, making sure quality's great like that. But I think overall, I enjoy Twitch a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just because it's a direct connection with your audience. It's not like working through comments, talking back and forth to each other. You're literally, if I say something, they're going to respond.
Yeah, and it's not you posting a video and then later, like a week later, seeing the comment and then commenting back and the reply became, Twitch is a lot more fun in that way, where you could just actually like real time, like, hey guys, what should I do here? What do you guys want to do here?
It's in line with I think what Stadia wanted to do with their they had an option where people could drop in and kind of help guide you through a section of a video game. Like for me, live streaming is pretty cool, and the concept that someone can just drop in chat and be like, actually you're doing it wrong, you could do it this way, and kind of give you that instant feedback. So
yeah, definitely. I've had plenty of instances where I've been in a chat and or like I'm streaming and someone in chat, like I said, like some of the previous world record holders would come in and be like, hey, like if you adjust your angle slightly, you'll be able to get this trick, or if your timing's off or something, like they would literally help me out. I just helped a newer runner through some issues he was having earlier today in Twitch. Like 5 minutes, I was like, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. Try it out and see if it works. And sure enough, he was getting through that part, no problem.
That's so cool how supportive that is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So with all that being said, what would you say is the most interesting thing to happen to you or your channel since you started creating content, either Twitch or YouTube?
That's good.
I think the most interesting thing that's been fun was I made a friend in Australia, my friend Alexandra Lynn. Absolutely amazing. She's actually completing her first any percent runs lately. I've been following her since she started learning, and we quickly became friends. She actually sent me a snack box from Australia of a whole bunch of stuff that you can't get here. So yeah, she sent me Vegemite. She sent me Milo, which is like Ovaltine, kind of.
Yeah.
She sent me Tim Tams to do Tim Tam Slam.
I don't even know what that is.
It's you have to look it up. So like essentially you get the Tim Tams are these little cookies. They're like these little chocolate covered cookies.
Yeah.
And a Tim Tam Slam is you bite a small bit off of two different, like the opposite corners.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a glass of milk, and then you actually drink the milk through the cookie, and then you eat the entire cookie at once.
Oh.
It is the weirdest texture because the cookie goes from like crispy to mush.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
That's
So yeah, she sent us this whole snack bin, and my wife and I we had a stream on it on like a Friday night, and we just sat there and we tried out different foods and just hung out, and it was really great with that.
That's awesome.
So on the flip side of that question, what do you think is the most interesting thing that's happened to your ability to speedrun? Like what you've learned speedrunning in terms of techniques? Is there like one technique that just blew your mind and is your favorite thing to do in Breath of the Wild?
Yeah. So like I said, there's a trick called a bullet time bounce. It essentially, you enter bullet time, hit an enemy that can ragdoll while you have Link shield surfing, and it launches you at 19 times whatever speed you hit it with.
I saw you doing that, and I just watching your Twitch stream of you doing that. I was like, what even just happened? That was awesome. It's so cool to watch.
Yeah. So there's one in any percent that we do. It is the most difficult trick of the run. You have a 2 to 3 frame window to activate bullet time because you need a certain amount of stamina. And I've done it probably close to 2,000 times, and I, to this day, do not get tired of it.
That's awesome.
Because you fly from the Temple of Time right after getting the paraglider directly into Hyrule Castle.
That's hilarious.
So you just skip over Hyrule Field, you just fly over it, and you land at the right next to the dining hall, and you go in. And I have watched it thousands of times. I've done it 1,000 times. I have taught people how to do it a couple hundred times, and it will never ever get old.
It looks so fucking fun.
Do you have any thoughts of how a developer feels when they're watching something like that happen?
You just crippling their game.
Yeah. I don't know if you've watched, IGN actually has a series on this called Developer Reacts. And they actually bring in developers on these games that people, that they've made, and they watch world record runs of people just destroying them. And I honestly think 9 times out of 10, they actually really enjoy it because it's like, they've already seen the sales of their game. They've already seen their game probably get great reception and stuff like that. And to see, I think it's kind of endearing, like seeing people have taken the time to break it to an extreme.
Yeah,
is super cool. I know, like if I developed games and someone came up to me and it's like, "Hey, I figured out a way to beat your game in 20 minutes," I'd be like, holy hell, show me right now, because I need to know what you did and how it broke.
Yeah.
Especially like with having made the game, you've seen the game inside and out. You've seen every part of the game. Like you've had to play through the game countless times. And for someone to just be like, yeah, I can beat it in like 3 minutes and 40 seconds. You're like,
And what's fun too is you actually will hear the developers be like, we knew about this, but we didn't think anybody would ever find it.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So they'll like find a bug and they'll be like, oh, like no one will ever use this. Like there's no reason to patch this out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, or if they do, it's like not the general population using it anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
So how do you think speedrunning affects your personal life? Like, do you think it affects the way you go about your work, or does it affect your relationship at all? Like, does your wife constantly complain because you're spending 20 hours trying to figure out how to jump Zelda across or Link across the world?
It's overall been pretty good. I've always been one to try and find efficiencies where I can. Mm-hmm. So I like speedrun just kind of naturally fit in there. My wife has been super supportive. I mean, there are nights where like I kind of get a little hooked and I'm like way too focused, and she's like, you need to stop and do other things. I'm like, okay. But no, for the most part, she's been super supportive. She's been super proud of everything that I've accomplished so far. But yeah, it's also like kind of helped me out in general. I think something that I've talked about publicly on my stream before, and I've talked about on Instagram and stuff like that. It's like I've battled with depression and anxiety my pretty much entire life ever since I was a little kid, and speedrunning really helps me out with that, just because I can like put all of my focus in something, and I know that like this will always be there. This is always a way to improve myself. I know that like the speedrunning community cares about me. I know that my Twitch and YouTube community cares about me. So it's definitely helped me out like mentally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's speedrunning has a huge impact on my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's nice. I do feel like it'd be a good stress relief tool where you can just like laser focus on this thing, like let everything else fade out around, like laser focus in like what you have to speed run, and just like, I'm going to work on just this tonight, lock this down, like cut seconds off of this. I can see how that would benefit someone mentally.
Well, I was going to ask you what the most rewarding part of being a content creator is, but I think that might answer it. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is there anything more rewarding than that?
Yeah, I think the overwhelming positivity that I get from my viewers is amazing. I've gotten like they've sent me direct DMs on Discord or left like comments on YouTube, and they're like, "Hey, like your videos and your stream have really helped me improve and stay with the hobby." Like I've had speedrunners that have been running for years message me and be like, "Hey, I was about to quit because I'm fed up. I'm tired and I'm just mentally drawn out. But I watched your videos or I came to your stream, and the way you talk about speedrunning, the way you treat it is it really has kind of revitalized your feelings towards it." And like for me, that's what I love the most, is being able to not only speedrun myself, but help people improve their speedrunning and improve their enjoyment of it, and maybe even reignite a flame of passion that they once had, but they don't anymore because they got burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to touch like even one person's life and help them through something is an amazing experience, and can see that.
I have noticed that with your streams, there does seem to be like, of course you're speed running and like you're focused on your speed runs, but you do also have like with your speed runs come like this sort of chat also. Like it just seems like you're just hanging out with a bunch of people, like everybody's just hanging out together. You guys are having a good time, and also you're performing this like extremely tedious like mental task while you're doing it. But it seems so chill inside your streams. I love the vibe of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of those people that's like over the top. We got to be hyped out all the time. Like I'm an adult. Like I just want to hang out. I want to play video games, and I want you to come in and bring the same energy and just chill. And like I don't know. Yeah, I don't even want to know how many attempts I've put into any percent, but like it's the run is 90% muscle memory at this point. There are very few parts where I actually need to concentrate, especially if I'm running like on stream. If I'm running on stream, I'm probably not honestly playing 100%. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm really trying to push for a new best time or something, like I'll run offline. Like it'll just be me in the console and have the recording elsewhere.
Yeah.
So on stream, like I'm looking to hang out, and like there's so many parts that I'm so used to now. Like I know when I can look at chat. I know when I can respond. I know when I don't really have to focus on what I'm doing. And so we just chill. We talk about everything. We talk about speedrunning a lot. We talk about mentality, how to better improve yourself in that respect. And then we also talk about really dumb things about like, we gave the Blights an entire backstory of why they're Hyrule's #1 pop band.
It's amazing.
Stuff like that is like the stuff that we talk about on chat. We do like to just keep it chill and just hang out, really.
Yours does seem like a really chill, positive place for people to come together and just hang out and have a good time. It's not like the chaotic, negative energy of some other people have. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of DotSlashFrag, but like,
oh fuck yeah, those guys,
dude, they're so chaotic. It's so stressful to watch sometimes.
We're not allowed to mention them, bro.
Yeah, honestly, the lawsuit, I remember, but are there any other like sort of creators like YouTube or Twitch or any other format? Are there any other creators that you that you love or that gives you a good vibe?
Yeah, definitely. Like for speedrunning, I mean, pretty much any Breath of the Wild runner. 9 times out of 10, they're great. One of my favorites is Limcube. Limcube is actually the guy who he actually created a tutorial series to get into any percent. So like I learned from Limcube, and me and him became pretty good friends for a while. He has grown up. He has gotten partnered on Twitch, and he is doing astounding well. And I don't really have the time to hang out in his chats anymore. But yeah, Lim is one of my favorites. He's a great streamer, super chill. Trying to think what other streamers. Wallhike Song is a former world record holder. He's currently trying to get world record back. He's a great friend. Orcris GC is a very close friend of mine. We started speedrunning the game at the same time. He's been playing longer categories like Master Sword Restricted. He was the former world record holder of all shrines. So he's a really good friend. Alexandra Lynn, I mentioned her before. She is like super close friend of mine. And then for YouTube, I don't know. I watch a strange mix of YouTube. When I watch YouTube content, it's actually mainly about content creation or filmmaking. Is what I usually watch. So Harris Heller, Sam Woodhall. I mean, pretty much anybody that's into content creation has watched those guys at this point. They put out amazing stuff. Who else? Peter McKinnon is great if you want to get into film. Same like Potato Jet and Matty. I forget. I'm not even trying to say Matty's last name. He's from like Finland or something, Hapaja or something. But he's great. Well, I'm not even gonna try. It's like HAJJ. Like you're gonna have to put it like subtitles. Like
we'll go to Google and make her do it, and then put that in. So don't worry about it.
But like they're all great. They do the vlogging style of vlogs and stuff like that. And then, you know, I watch other things that like are other interests of mine. There's a couple speed cubers, like Rubik's Cubes that I like, YouTubers that I still watch. Like Speed Cube reviews, J Perm. I'm trying to think of what else I watch on YouTube. I watch Game Grumps every once in a while when I need to just laugh at stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Most of my content that I consume is Twitch, though.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Twitch seems to take up a lot of time. You can get lost in Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, do you have any sort of goals set out for either your Twitch or YouTube that you're trying to achieve in the next year or so?
I mean, pretty much just basic goals. I'd like to hit partner on Twitch, slowly and steadily growing, but I really don't care for the money. Like I have a great job that I love. Like I love what I do every single day at work.
Mm-hmm.
But I really just want more emotes because emotes are key.
This could be an entire segment, but I feel that Twitch and YouTube and other platforms of the likes, it's really annoying that they lock almost basic functionality behind these arbitrary numbers. Like YouTube, you have to get 1,000 subscribers to as a gaming channel, not even as a bigger channel, to be considered for subscriptions. You have to get like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to do community posts. Like it's kind of just a buzzkill for the lower channels that are up and coming to have to hit these milestones. Because like you said, you're not even worried about the money. You're basically just wanting the functionality of the platform at this point. And it's
there's like two things that I want from partner. I want emote slots and I want all the time transcoding for my viewers.
Yep.
Because I have viewers in Europe and stuff like that where they don't have great internet and they're like, well, I don't have transcoding today, so I can't watch you.
That seems like the most basic feature, and I just still don't get why Twitch doesn't just allow it, especially for somebody who's gone through the trouble to get an affiliate already. So
yeah.
Right. Tisk Twitch. But
yeah, just partner on Twitch would be great, and getting to the 1,000 mark on YouTube for subs would also be awesome. Because any money that I get from Twitch, I don't go out and I spend on video games or whatever. I actually just put it back into the stream. So it's my past couple of payouts that I've gotten have gone directly into buying either like I'm trying to think, like these lights I bought with it. I bought a new microphone for YouTube. I bought a new camera. I have a new camera coming. I had to buy batteries. I had to buy a memory card for that. You know, so like anything I get just goes right back into the stream. So if I can get an income where I don't have to worry about like my job and like paying bills and stuff like that. And I just have this extra income I can put right back into making content. That's what I'm going to do.
For sure.
That's the dream.
Yeah, I think it's apparent, if anybody goes back on any of your VODs on Twitch, they can see that the quality of the stream has improved every month, every X amount of time. So
yeah, I mean, everything on my channel I've made. So even my layout is all coded by me. So the little rotating feed and my notifications that pop up over my head, like I spent a couple hours and a couple cups of coffee and just knocked those out one day. I was like, all right, cool. I have these. I don't have to pay for it. It looks clean. Like, let's keep it. And then like, trying to get ahead on equipment with budget, because that's something that like, I'm sure you've seen in the streaming world and in the YouTube world is everybody's obsessed with gear and everybody needs to spend, an insane amount of money to get stuff, but like HOTS don't.
Yeah.
Like this is a $30 microphone. Mm-hmm. This is a $19 boom arm. I am being lit by a single. These two LEDs that I have are $60 on Amazon.
I feel
so it's like you don't need to spend all this money that people try to hype out.
Yeah, people try to obsess on like advancing and constantly buying these better things when you really need to focus on just you putting yourself on the platform and getting yourself out there and what you plan on doing. Like, just get what you want to accomplish out there. It's not the video quality and the audio quality aren't huge right off the beginning. Like, you can always work up to that, but it's not like a race to get to it. It's all about enjoying what you do with it, really.
If you put side by side the content of what you're producing and then the quality moving up isn't going to give you as much of a reward as the content. Like, people aren't going to come to the channel because you have good quality. They're going to come to the channel for your content. Yes, they're going to want good quality, but if you can't even check the boxes for the content and keep improving on, how you're talking to people, how you're, putting this stuff out there, then there's no point in going and buying all this best equipment. Like, it's just pointless. If you buy every single thing that someone suggests, they're like, this is the best that you could get for streaming, and you buy all that stuff, you're just going to flop in the market of content unless you're that 1 out of a million person, this just somehow magically got the fucking touch. So
yeah,
I agree.
And I feel like I could rant about this for a long time because I've seen it too many times, but like, I've gone into streams where I've seen people with 10 viewers and they have a Shure SMB. And I'm like, that's a $400 microphone that has to go into a mixer with a preamp. So you're looking at another $400 to $500 right there. Like, if you have a Go XLR, that's like $500. So already off the bat, just with 2 items, you have invested $900 into 10 people.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like on top of that, they're buying a cam link, they're buying Elgato key lights. Like, no shade, like Elgato makes great quality products, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But like, you don't need to spend $400 on 2 Elgato key lights. There's much better things you could be spending that money on. Yep. And like you said, it really matters about the quality. So like, learning to make the best of what you have is what you really need to focus on. So I think something that I've seen a lot of the times in multiple. Yeah, I know you have 2 of them.
Wow. Like we said, the equipment doesn't make the
content.
Yeah, you're right, dude. You're right. I mean, of course, dude.
But I think one of the biggest things with people that I've seen is like they put this kind of way too much weight into equipment. Yep. They're like, my content will get better if I have X.
Exactly.
When it's really not. Like, I've seen people go out and make great content with their cell phone that they have in their pocket. And you know why it's great content? Because they made it.
Exactly. Yeah, it just becomes this trap that people will get stuck in. Over time, yes, improve your quality. But when you're starting out, don't spend all that money. You got much better stuff to buy.
So I see, like, I'm sure speedrunning takes a huge toll on your time over the day. But what else do you like to do in your downtime when you're not on camera or you're not recording? Like, what else do you get into? What do you have any, like, what other hobbies do you have going on?
So I really like cooking. I like gardening. So I have my first garden this year. I have an obsession with peppers and hot sauce. So I actually grew serrano peppers, and I actually have ghost peppers that are fully fruiting, and I probably have to pick soon because it's been getting cold out here. But between that, I like cooking, baking. My wife has been very excited because like on Sundays, I'm just like, I'm going to bake a cake, and I will just go and make something. And then we just have cake for a couple weeks. Like this week, I just made a red velvet cake because why not? Between that, like, you know, I program. So I'm either programming for fun or I'm working on freelance or something like that. I still do solve the Rubik's Cubes. We watch TV. I don't watch as much as my wife does, but we do watch TV. We literally just finished watching Wizards of Arcadia on Netflix, which was super fun.
Nice.
Trying to think, what else do I do besides play video games? It's mainly just Zelda. Seriously, like I'm also a verifier for the speedrun.com leaderboards for Breath of the Wild. So it's like when I'm not running, I'm actually watching runs to be like, okay, this run is good. This can go on the leaderboard, or I can deny them or whatever. So I try to put just as much work as I can into the community because they've been so great to me. So I'm just trying to kind of pay it forward.
That's awesome. So you mentioned Rubik's Cube. We talked about that a little bit at the beginning. You're a speedrunner for Breath of the Wild. A lot of the stuff that comes with those two things are numbers. Are you wanting to share what your best solve for a certain Rubik's Cube is? And would you want to share what your best any percent run has been?
Yes. So my best Rubik's Cube single solve, I think, was like 9.75 seconds. It was my only time I've ever gotten under 10 seconds.
It's disgusting, dude. Don't even come at me with that, bro.
And for any percent, my current personal best time, which I am like grinding so hard to beat because it's an arbitrary number, but I want to get past it, is 30 minutes and 19 seconds.
Nice.
I'm trying to get under the half-hour mark.
So close.
Kind of been a goal for me ever since I started to get under 30 minutes, just because that's mind blowing in that game to me. I mean, current world record's just under 27. Skedadara is world record holder in multiple categories now, but he's probably the best Breath of the Wild player in existence, like bar none. The guy is absolutely insane. Unfortunately, he's in Japan, so he only streams it like on the Japanese platforms, and like when he does stream on Twitch, it's super early in the morning for us.
Yeah, but I bet you're making some waves now with a 31 minute.
I'm actually not even top 20 anymore.
I mean, still, over 20 is still pretty damn good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the game's been popping off lately. So Breath of the Wild is the second largest Zelda game at the moment. We currently, I think, have 73 or 74 active runners, and I think the only game beating it is A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo.
Really?
Which I think only has like 75. Oh, so we're in a very, very close second.
Wow, I would have guessed Ocarina of Time. I see that sped run all the time.
I mean, now that they've got down to 9 minutes, though.
Yeah,
it's boring, a lot of people stopped watching any percent, mainly because it became not the most exciting in the world. So people still run it, but they're also tired. Like the any percent routes in either Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, because they run on the same engine, are kind of frustrating because you'll spend time learning a route and then an entirely new game breaking bug is discovered.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, there goes that entire route that I just spent 2 months learning.
Yeah.
Now time to learn another one, which is what I've kind of been grateful for with Breath of the Wild, is it's still a young game and we're still discovering absolutely insane glitches. The most recent big one that we found besides Stasis Bounce was, which wasn't even that big, was something we call SCW, or Shrine Coordinate Warp. We actually figured out how shrine elevators work. Mm-hmm. And so now we can skip doing things like the Divine Beasts. So in all shrines, it saved probably about half an hour, I think.
Wow, that's
and
so crazy.
Being worked on.
It's a huge chunk of time.
You used to have to finish 2 of the Divine Beasts, 2 out of the 4 Divine Beasts, in order to get access to these shrines. Plus, you also have to wait for Blood Moon and a couple other events that went on. And now we discovered that, okay, an elevator, when you activate it, isn't tied to that shrine. It's actually just doing a check. It's like, okay, where is Link? Is he within a radius? Like, what radius is he within? So shrines have these activation radius. So if we can actually...
It puts you in the correct shrine from your location then?
Exactly. So if we can store the activation of an elevator, get Link out, and then move him to another inside of the radius of another shrine, we can just warp him into that shrine instead. So we can skip crazy amounts of things. It's still being discovered. It's still being worked on. My friend Tekage has the world record down to 6 hours, which is insane, from where it was a couple months ago. So yeah, it's still a young game. We're still discovering a whole ton of stuff.
Do you think there'll ever be a point in which you want to move on from Breath of the Wild?
Probably not for a long time. Maybe Breath of the Wild 2, depending on
true.
when it comes out and how good it is to speedrun. So games are actually like, you can speedrun any game, but it doesn't mean any game is good at speedruns.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people, like you can speedrun Borderlands 2, but in Borderlands 2, there's like I think it's like a 5-minute unskippable cutscene. Like you cannot get past it, and you just have to sit there.
Yeah.
No, it's right at the right at the end of the run. Like right when you're facing
the beginning. Yeah.
Like you have to sit through like 5 minutes of dialogue. Like there's a bounty out for right now. Like if you can find a way to skip that, people will pay you money.
Bam.
So like that kind of stuff happens. Like Borderlands 3, nobody runs Borderlands 3 because it wasn't a good speed game.
Yeah.
So that's why games like Zelda games or the Mario games are probably the friendliest speedrunning games to get into because they're super easy to learn, but they're very hard to get good at.
Easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah. Legend of Zelda games are, if you like really broken games, learn them because they are all extremely broken at this point, except for Twilight Princess. We need to find some love for Twilight Princess. It's the longest game at the moment.
Maybe they'll hit us up with a 3D collection, huh, Nintendo? Huh?
That would be great. That would be good. That'd be a fun time. I'd actually finish those games because those are the 3 that I haven't finished.
Yeah.
Wind Waker, Temple, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. I've actually never finished those 3.
For sure. Is there anything that we've missed or anything you'd like to leave as parting words as we move on past this wonderful discussion?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I guess I can kind of just plug myself a little bit here. Like if you like speedrunning, if you want to know more about speedrunning in general, please stop on my Twitch. All of my social media is the exact same name. You can find me at TallestThomas, literally on any social media platform. So like, come check that out. We talk, like I said, we talk about pretty much anything, but a lot of it focuses on like mentality, how to get better, practicing better, moving past certain barriers in your life. And besides that, no, I don't really have much of anything to say.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. As always, I'm Chris.
I'm Will.
Say I'm TallestThomas.
I'm TallestThomas.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.